You're watching the Motorola Moto G9 Plus disassembly. First, remove the SIM tray. And the SIM tray does have a rubber gasket around it. Next, you're going to take a plastic pry tool and place it in between the back housing and the plastic frame of the screen. So in this case, in between the gold and black frame. And then you're going to work your way around, popping off the catches. Once you pop all your catches, there is some adhesive around the camera lens over here. So you're going to have to pry that off gently. And be careful not to just pull your back off because your fingerprint reader cable is still attached to the main board. So you're going to have to lift the cover up. And then you're going to remove the 20 Phillips screws. Once all the screws have been removed, we're going to remove this metal cover. And we're going to disconnect the cable over here. Now this back housing is plastic. And as you can see, there's an adhesive strip around the camera lens. There's also this type of rubberized foam gasket that goes all the way around, which seems like it would give it some sort of a seal. You have some antennas over here. You have the gold contacts which make connection with the board. And here's your fingerprint reader cable and your power button. And your volume keys over here. You can just remove them by popping it off. Next, we're going to remove the top plastic cover. Here's a better look at that. And if in case you ever crack or break your lens cover over here, it's held on with adhesive, so you just have to pry this portion off from the border area. You could just apply some heat and use a thin razor to get in between and just pry it off. So technically you wouldn't really need to disassemble the phone. You can just do it as is. You also have your NFC antenna located in this area. And there's also some graphite film over here which helps transfer the heat. Now on the other side, your flash is located in this area. Here are the contacts for it. And there's some graphite film over here as well. Now we need to disconnect the battery cable. Just pop it up. Once the battery cable is disconnected, we can go ahead and disconnect the rest of the cables. Your front-facing camera over here, disconnect that. There's also some copper tape on the back of it. You have two wire cables over here, disconnect those by popping them off. You have one Phillips screw over here in the corner holding your main board down. Go ahead and remove that. Now we can lift up and remove the main board. Now here's a closer look at your main board. You have your headphone jack over here and it's covered by a rubber gasket. This phone seems to have some sort of water resistance since it has the rubber gasket over here. It had that gasket around the back housing and the adhesive around the lens of the camera. And it seems to have either a dust resistant or water resistant mesh cover over the microphone and speaker. But again, to what extent the water resistance is, I don't know. So moving on, you have two liquid damage indicators. This white sticker over here and another one over here. You have a secondary microphone located over here. It's this gold piece. Your cameras can be disconnected by just popping them off, like so. You also have some copper tape over here. Peeling it off. There's no thermal paste or anything, but there's a chip underneath. And there is separation between them, so they're not in contact with one another. Now onto the other side, you have an LED light indicator located right here. Your proximity sensor is right here. There's also some thermal paste over here, here, and a little bit over here in the corner. And your SIM and memory card reader is located over here. Removing the shield on the back reveals more thermal paste on the chips, and the Qualcomm chip is located over here. There's a large piece of copper tape over here and some thermal paste over here, which lies underneath the board, which helps transfer the heat and spread it through the midframe. Now we're going to remove the speaker assembly. So here's your speaker assembly. There's some graphite film over here as well. And on the other side, you can see the speaker assembly itself. There's also a rubber gasket over here where the speaker assembly lies. Next, we're going to disconnect this flex cable over here by the charger port board. You have two more wire cables you need to pop off. And And then there's one Phillips screw located here holding down the charger port board. Once that screw is removed, there's some adhesive underneath the charger port board holding it down. So you're going to have to pry it off. And then you can lift up and remove it. Here's a closer look at that. Your main microphone is located here. You have another liquid damage indicator right there, that white sticker. And here's your charger port here. And there's a rubber gasket covering it. Here's the back side. Now onto the battery. There is graphite film covering it as well. We're going to peel that off. There are no easy pull tabs to pry the adhesive off underneath the battery, so you're going to have to apply heat using a hairdryer or a heat gun, and then you're going to use a plastic pry tool to pry the battery off. Just be careful you don't warp the battery too much or pierce it. So here's a better look at that battery, and here's the back side. Now one thing I did notice, which I haven't really noticed in other batteries, there seems to be two wires coming out from the corner over here, which has some sort of like a glue or a seal. Basically goes inside the battery and comes out and connects to the connector over here somewhere. I've never really seen it done that way before. So at this point you're pretty much left with a vibrator motor located down here. You have your earpiece speaker over here. Your screen cable is located over here. And this cable connects your main board to your subboard, which is your charger port board on the bottom. So if you ever needed to replace your screen, you'd basically just have to heat the front of the screen up to loosen up the adhesive underneath, which is holding it down. And then you'd peel off your screen cable over here and run it through the slit in the mid frame over here. And then you'd get your new screen, reapply to the front, and make sure you run your cable back through the slit over here. And then you just reconnect everything and put the phone back together. I also wanted to point out the filter over here with the rubber gasket, which leads to the microphone. And there's a filter over here for the speaker as well. There is also another rubber gasket around the speaker assembly on the inside. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and put the phone back together. Once all your screws are back in place, reapply the back cover. Flip the phone over, power it on, and you're done. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on that notification bell so you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. Thanks again for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Hello, Moto.